Hello, welcome to the Homefront. This is another episode of Homefront Reacts. These are super easy to make, so we're pretty lazy. Anyway, I'm Tyler, your host. To my right, as always, is Mitch, my overly artistic friend, my high-functioning artist friend.
Hello.
That'll stick at some point, probably, right?
No,
No, it won't.
it will never.
So we're doing another Reacts video, and
Okay.
today, actually, this trailer just dropped, I think, 2 days ago, maybe.
When are you posting this? YouTube time.
That's a great question. I don't know.
2 days ago for us.
I'm thinking that maybe like I do these on like Saturday mornings or something, but maybe I want to pad the time on Tuesdays. I don't know. I haven't figured out the formula yet.
I don't know. Just use the time wisely. I don't have all day.
I'm doing my best. Okay. So Daredevil trailer dropped.
Okay. So that's what we're watching.
Yeah. To preface this, I liked Daredevil season 1.
Yeah, season 1's great.
When Netflix had it,
Mm-hmm.
and I liked Punisher season 1.
I didn't watch that. Daredevil season 2 had okay elements, but Elektra was freaking annoying, and they just kept cramming her into
First
everything.
half of that season was great. Because that's
Yeah.
when Punisher shows up, and then all that arc happens, and then the second half of that season, when Elektra shows up, is odd.
Yeah, it was more, there was a different energy to it, which was interesting, but I just didn't, I don't know. I had a hard time connecting with it. I didn't really understand what they were trying to do. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't.
Wasn't a fan. So Disney has
So
bought.
this is season 3, is it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it's 3.
Okay.
They're just calling it Daredevil Born Again. So.
Okay.
But Netflix lost all of the rights to their Marvel properties. Disney took them all over. So currently, the Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist.
Okay.
What's the other guy's name? I can't remember his name. The Defenders in general. Those were all shows that Netflix had that are now on Disney Plus. Disney Plus famously tried to integrate Daredevil into She-Hulk, which is a great decision, guys. Really, really great decision. They switched up his costume.
Was it the same actor?
Yep.
Okay.
People weren't happy about it. And then he shows up in the Spider-Man universe. So he officially shows up in the MCU. So now this is, after all those debacles, Disney has finally settled on continuing the show.
Okay.
So now we have the trailer. So we're going to watch it.
All right.
Okay. All right. So again,
it just starts with people getting beat up.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's Daredevil. That's what he does. So I've got the logo over it. I'm going to try and avoid the copyright, but it's Disney, so we'll see.
So
I'm glad they got this. Yeah.
Didn't he defeat him and kill him?
They didn't
or
kill
send him to prison or something?
Just beat him up like 4 times. Wow, they got the original cast. I really love the tone of the first season. I'm hoping they match that.
Yeah. I like the actor for the Kingpin guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's great.
I like all the actors. Daredevil's actor's fantastic. Oh, the Punisher?
They look like Robert Downey Jr. for a moment there.
A little bit, yeah. Maybe he'll show up as Daredevil in this. Devil's work. All right.
It's spicy for Disney.
I know, seriously. Nice. They do got Punisher back. Right on.
Okay, that was the evil lawyer guy, right?
Who?
That dude we were watching. This is pretty violent. Looks like
Ooh.
it's faithful to the original.
He's got different color masks now. Man, he's just laying waste to these dudes. Oh.
Whoa.
Oh.
They're showing a lot of violence and a lot of blood for a... that's Disney, folks.
All right.
That's a lot of blood.
All right.
He like broke that guy's arm, and there's like blood seeping out. Like, wow.
Okay. First impressions?
Well, it looked pretty cool.
It did.
I don't understand Disney.
I think they're shaping up.
I I don't understand why. Like, if I was Disney, I would not want the Disney logo on that. But they're like, lather it on there, watermark it up. It's us, guys. And I would just be like, just no. Let's have a different branch handle all this mature stuff.
Well,
Because
that's Hulu.
What do you mean?
Hulu is it's owned by Disney, but it has all their more mature stuff. So it's gonna have like Alien.
Oh, see, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Just put it on Hulu then. It's like, well, we own Hulu. We can get the revenue from that, but we just don't want to.
I think
Because I just feel like
they're
they're
in a
so big and they
corner.
need an image, and they just have a huge image problem.
Well,
So this is like contrasting that. Like, it's cool for people like you and I, but I was just like, if I was just like a parent of some kids, I'd be like, what is this crap? I don't want to show this.
So Disney Plus now has a feature where you can block out the more mature stuff, so stuff like this.
Okay,
So it has, I think it's a rating system.
gotcha.
But outside of that, they're kind of in a corner with this because Daredevil is part now of Marvel, and so it's going to be part of the MCU. And MCU is a Disney Plus property, where everything that is Marvel related is on Disney Plus. So it would be hard to pull this specific title and put it on Hulu when they're inevitably going to try and put it in.
Gotcha.
Because at some point, I guarantee you, they're probably going to try and do like a Daredevil Spider-Man or Daredevil Deadpool mix up.
Sure.
And so you've got to have these innate. And Deadpool is now Disney as well. Like Deadpool and Wolverine is a Disney movie.
Yeah, that I know. That also had a weird image problem.
Well, that's also on Disney Plus.
Okay, so I guess they're just rebranding. It's almost like
It is an image problem. Don't get me wrong.
well, because it just feels. This is like a stupid thing that I'm picking on, but it just kind of feels like it's. I don't know, because even with like, let's say like Nintendo as a good comparison, because Nintendo has a very specific image about their
Yes.
brand,
Yeah.
and they're very, very, in fact, one might say overly careful about how their image comes across.
Yeah, they
with,
got
like,
$1 billion for the
representation.
Mario movie, so I mean, they're doing
Right.
something right.
Right. Well, and that's because they
Yeah.
were cracking down on illusion. Was like, you do this right. I don't want to see a single character look off base.
Sure.
But the thing is they can kind of get away with some of their brands, like Metroid being an interesting example. Like, that's their most mature series. And I'm always like hoping for that series to just kind of like spread its wings and get really dark, like it was inspired to be. Because it was inspired off of the Alien films,
Right.
Ridley Scott's Alien in particular. That's where it came from. So this, rated R, like kind of movie. So that was what they were thinking of when they made it up. So it just makes sense to go in that direction. I don't think it needs to go that far, but yeah, I don't know. It's just like they can kind of contain that within a series, and that makes a little more justifiable sense than like the whole of Nintendo having to follow through. With this, it's like Disney's like, well, we have Marvel now. And it's like, you're not like Marvel though. And then they're just like, they cram their like Disneyfication into it.
I see.
And so then it
You
becomes.
would say that it would just need a Marvel logo.
Yeah.
And innately it's owned by Disney. It doesn't have to have Disney's name on it.
Yeah, if I was owner of Disney, I would be like, just get that stupid logo off.
Gotcha.
Because
No
like
more watermarks.
yeah, it's like none of that. Just call it Marvel, because people want to see Marvel characters and they want it to be a Marvel property.
Sure.
And then I would give more independence to Marvel to do things in the Marvel way.
That's fair.
And I would be like, look, like I own you, so I want the cash, but that's all I'm involved with. But anyways, that's like, this is not really fair. The show looks good.
It does.
It looks pretty solid. What did you think of it?
No, I'm definitely watching that. I will retain like a modicum of suspicion that they're gonna mess something up. But I mean, it looks very reminiscent of the original, the first season.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's got all the themes. Music was good. Action looks great. The cast is all fantastic. Like that's never
great
been an issue
cast.
of the show for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, if they do it justice, looks good to me. Yeah, well done, guys.
Yeah, I don't have strong sentiments. Do you think they'll screw it up though? Because it's Disney. This is like a thing. I'm really railing on Disney's.
You
Sorry.
are, for good reason. Disney's track record with shows is interesting, but here's the thing: within the recent, you know, not only the past couple shows, but also just culturally, there's been a bit of a shift. I think I
Hmm.
think they're responding in kind. Um,
And like the Marvel or the Wolverine and Deadpool movie was like one step, and this is like another step. You think?
yeah, Wolverine and Deadpool is a very weird example. The thing about that movie, because Deadpool sets this precedent, right, of like just this kind of self-aware, overly self-aware, breaking the fourth wall kind of a thing.
Yeah, overly violent.
But
Yeah.
Deadpool and Wolverine, the film, it's just fan service. That
Yeah, it's
it's
fan
like
service. The movie.
exactly. It's like Napoleon Dynamite. Like there's zero plot, but it doesn't
Yeah.
care. It's just like, yeah, there's this movie's about nothing, but it's also funny. So you're just going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Deadpool and Wolverine is very much like that. It's just like, yeah, there's no point to this movie existing except for the fact that you get to see Wolverine in his original costume. You're going to see Gambit. You're going to see Blade. You know,
You're
like
gonna see Chris Evans as the Human Torch once
exactly. Like you're
again.
just going to see a bunch of stuff that you always want to see as a, a Super Marvel nerd. That's about all you're going to get. There's no like real substance to it. So, but that was what people want from Deadpool. And
Right.
so like they're catering to the audience now. And I think that there's merit to some of that cuz Disney did this like wide arc of they had those first films that went up to I would say Endgame is like the last one cuz they had all the movies up till
When
that
did they
point.
buy out Marvel?
When did they buy out Marvel?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
When did that happen? When did Disney buy Marvel?
I don't know the exact date, but 2008 was when Iron Man came out and that was like their flagship. Hulk is essentially their flagship,
But
but
Disney was a part of that?
yeah.
They owned it by that point?
Yeah.
That's the part that makes zero sense to me because they never put it on any of the movies. So it just felt like a Marvel property to me.
Well, yeah, but I mean that was the branding back then. Now, Disney Plus was subsequently created after that, and that's when they started doing shows. And this is a Disney Plus show, just like
So
Netflix was branded on the original Daredevil show.
and sorry to the audience and people who are just like in the know on this, but at what point did Disney decide to intervene and not just get the money for Marvel movies and instead was like actually inputting on the creative decisions? Because they have influenced Marvel movies now.
No, I think they always influenced it. I just think there was more creative freedom for it was Jon Favreau and John. Gosh, I always forget this guy's name. There's two of them that like were heading the project and they were kind of mapping it out.
And they kind of trusted them to lead most of that,
I
I
think they
guess.
gave them a lot of creative license, but they had certain expectations. Now, this is mostly speculative, but I think they were saying like, yeah, you got to have X, Y, and Z. You can't go, too gory or bloody or whatever. Like they had different parameters, but then, it became a multi-billion-dollar project. And by the time Endgame came around, they had finished this specific arc. And so I think by that time you had cultural shifts, you had different narratives or messaging that they were trying to put in there, and so that I think the corporate overlords, considering how much money this thing was generating, were getting their fingers more and more involved, and then it started to kind of branch out into these weird zones.
Hmm.
I.e., you got the shows at that time, like WandaVision. You had
Right.
Captain America: Winter Soldier, and then you had She-Hulk, which is
Well,
where
that's what I mean.
Daredevil
Those
showed up
shows
again.
were crap.
Well, I think that's the thing is that now that this is just a money making machine, you can just start pumping stuff out, and those TV shows are probably a lot cheaper than the films.
They are.
And so you're just like, yeah, let's just flood the market with a bunch of content. It's gonna get eyes because we've already established this monster that is in the MCU. And then they started accumulating the other properties. They bought out Sony and they got the Daredevil properties. They bought out all this stuff. Unless the license is expired. I'm not actually sure the technicalities, but they got all the stuff from Netflix. So now that all that is now under the Disney Plus umbrella. And I think they realized that Daredevil is the highest grossing one or the most popular one. So he's shown up twice in the Spider-Man and then She-Hulk. And so now, considering all the backlash and the money that they've lost over time, I think they're finally starting to be like, you know what, we got to do something that people actually want to see. Go figure. And so it looks like this is the direction they're going with this show.
How very optimistic of you.
I have low expectations. Don't get me wrong. Like, I still think they have potential of really screwing this up. But at the same time, I've also like been paying enough attention to know that Disney has realized that they've been in pretty hot water with some of this stuff.
Do they though?
Considering all the cultural shifts, I
Yeah,
don't.
maybe. Have they done anything recently? I mean, apart from like, what else did they do apart from Wolverine and Deadpool?
Within this universe, not much. I mean, you had Moana, which is like Moana 2, which was just
Oh, no,
as
I mean like Marvel stuff.
well, but that's in the same or a similar vein because it is a sequel and it's like modern film. Even though but it's like original, right? Because it's not a remake of anything. It's actually a
Hmm.
continuation. So there's that.
Yeah,
As
but it's not a Marvel property. It's not a
Oh,
comic
you're
book
just
character.
you're just asking.
I'm just
Marvel?
asking about Marvel. What have they done recently that's Marvel? That's good. They did Deadpool, Wolverine. What else did they do?
I mean, you're asking the wrong person.
Yeah,
about
because it's like
good.
She-Hulk stuff. It's like all their shows have been crap. So like this looks better. I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Here's the
Like,
other thing though, is that judging by let's just go off of Daredevil or Deadpool and Wolverine. Just based off of that, they pulled in because they realized what that was, right? They watched Deadpool 1 and 2 and they're like, you know what? If we try to change this and Disneyfy it, it's gonna suck and no one's gonna like it. This is a very specific market. There's a lot of profanity, there's a lot of violence, it's way over the top, but this is the brand.
yeah.
And if we change that, it's not they're
Yeah, they
going to
respected
tank
the
us.
brand. Even though
But-
I didn't like the movie, I respected the way that it was made
Yeah.
because it was faithful to what
I
it was
think
supposed to
that they're
be.
doing the same thing here. That's the only reason
Okay.
I have some kind of optimism is because there's already an established team, an established property, and they're like, we have to respect that because the Netflix crew is going to come over and watch this. So we're trying to pull an audience in that might not correlate. Like people that might
Oh,
have
I see what
Netflix
you're
might
saying.
not have Disney Plus, but they like Daredevil. And so if they know that there's a new season coming out, they might shift over to Disney Plus and want to follow that along. And if they tank that audience right out the bat,
I see.
then they're gonna lose a lot of money. So I think if they did the same thing they did with Deadpool and Wolverine, then this has a shot. I mean, they definitely went out of their way to make sure that you knew that this is super violent and super dark.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're already
Out
not
of their way.
Disneyfying it. Yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's like, do you see how bloody this is? Like, I
We've
got
got
it.
blood in this show.
It's really bloody.
People bleed when they get beaten
a lot
up
of
by
dead
the Daredevil.
people by the end. A lot of dead people. All right.
Yeah.
So
All right.
I have slight optimism. Let's call it that.
Okay. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. They kind of can't. So I guess it's more like the fear of Daredevil Born Again Season 2. That's where it will tank. Because they'll be like, well, we already got the Netflix guys. We got them.
I mean, it's a monthly subscription, so they can all cancel whenever they want. So.
But they bank on people not. Believe me, they absolutely do that.
Absolutely do.
And Microsoft is the worst at that. And I know because I just totally abused the Microsoft Game Pass subscription because they offer it to me like a month for $1 or 2 months for $2, and then I'll pay for it. I'll use it, and then I cancel when those months are up, and then I wait a couple months, and then
probably don't. Yeah,
most people probably don't because they just keep reoffering it to me. So I've been ripping off Microsoft for years now.
They offer it,
but they keep offering it. So there's nothing illegal about what I'm doing.
Sure.
They just don't think I will bother to go online and cancel, but I do.
Naturally. Cool.
Okay.
You got anything else to say?
No, it was a
Alright.
good trailer.
It was. Heart optimism. Still there.